Document cameras are great for a flipped classroom environment or an online learning situation. So you've got the camera that's facing down, and you can share the page of a textbook or a storybook, or you could have a piece of paper that you're writing on or a whiteboard that you're writing on, and you can sort of write on it in a fairly natural way without needing to use a digital whiteboard or something like that. Now, chances are you haven't got a document camera sitting at home at the moment. So in this video, I'm going to show you a way that you can jerry-rig your iPad or your phone and set that up to be like a document camera, including the software that you'll need to use for that. I'll try and show you a wired version versus a wireless version, just so you've got some options. And then that way you can either capture the screen as part of a video or share it via an online meeting. Let's have a look. Chances are you've seen some examples on the internet of people who've set up their phones or iPads as document cameras, using things like Lego, for example, or some other objects that they have around the house. So here's what I've been using. So in my first example, what I did, I had a spare laptop, or in this case a Chromebook, and I've used the phone holder out of my car, and I've just basically flipped up the laptop on its side and stuck the phone holder to the side and then mounted my phone, right? And that gives me that view there. But you might not have a spare laptop or even a phone holder for your car that you can use, particularly with the angle and all the rest of it. So I went to plan B. No, I haven't been hoarding tins. So on this one, I've got my iPad up here. I've just got a chopping board, and I've set that up on some stacks of tins. That should be ready to go. And then your other option, if you want something a little bit different, if you've got a phone, for example, it's a bit smaller, I've used this one. So again, I've just stacked up some tins and just made a bit of a platform. The key thing here that you need to keep in mind is that your device needs to be far enough up off the table so that you get everything inside the field of view. You also want to have it sort of out a bit from the edge of what you're using to hold things up, so that you don't get sort of the bottom corners of your tin showing in the bottom of your image. Righto, so I'm going to start with the iPhone or iPad device first, and I'm going to look at two scenarios. One where you're recording a screencast using something like Screencastify to upload and have students have a look at. And the second scenario I'll have a look at is if you're in an online meeting and you want to share what's in the camera with the other participants so you can show them what's going on. So what you need to do, you need to make sure for the first scenario, which is recording a screencast, you've got your iPad or iPhone connected to your laptop directly with the cable. Then you're going to start up QuickTime, and you're going to go File, New Movie Recording. Right, so there it is there, and this time I'm going to come down this little arrow here and I'm going to select the iPad. There we go. Sometimes there'll be a bit of a lag. And what you can go and do, now you can't control the iPad from your laptop. You need to sort of reach over and actually do it from there. And there we go. I've kind of got it lined up. So I'll straighten him up. Don't know that I want to use. Now you can control your zoom and so forth from your camera. Just needs to be in real time. There we go. So you can zoom in and out if you need to, so that you can see what's going on. What you can do then is come and start up Screencastify. We're going to record the desktop, and we're going to say that we want the desktop. And then we're now recording a desktop, and we can see the camera here. I can be pointing to stuff. I can be working on stuff inside here as well. Can't really avoid losing all these bits on the outside. There might be a setting there somewhere that'll get rid of it for you. And so you go ahead and record your screencast. And there it is there. All right. Now, the next scenario is that you want to use the camera real time in a meet so you can work with students in a synchronous lesson that you've set up. Now, you don't need the cable for this one. You can disconnect the cable. But what you do need to have is you're going to need the Google Meet app on there, and you're also going to need a Google account. You can use your school account or you can use a personal account. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to use a personal account, so the situation is going to be a bit different. Now, that's got the camera around the wrong way. So once I sign in, I'm going to need to switch that camera around, which I can do with no great drama. Right, so in my Google meeting, now the Google Hangouts Meet app on the iPhone, it can be a little bit annoying to use. So I'm going to go to and start up just a sample meet. And it's going to call it a test session for now. So you would have set up all of this ahead of time. All right, join now. All right, so for the Meet to work effectively, you're going to need this 10-letter code on the end. So on my iPad, I'm going to enter a meeting code, and it is, pardon the noise of my chair, GUSPUZ Okay, so just to reiterate, this last 10 letters on the end of your meeting URL is what you need to add in. We're going to join the meeting. I'm using a personal account, so I'm going to have to ask to join. And I'm going to admit. Okay, and I'm going to mute the microphone. And then up here, we've got the 3 dots, and I'm going to switch the camera. And now that's showing that one. I don't need the QuickTime view anymore. I'll leave that going for this situation here, but you can see that this person's, it looks like they're part of the meeting. That's okay. So we're going to open up that tab. Now, for students to sort of always see what's going on with the camera here, it's a good idea if they come to the participant list and find, so you would have given it a name like iPad or your own name or something like that. It'll be obvious what's showing up for them. And so you sort of click on that, and then you click on the pin to screen. And so that will always make sure that it stays in their screen. It doesn't switch when someone speaks. All right, so that's using the iPad as a document camera. All right, so I'm going to show you now how you can use an Android device like a Samsung phone or a Huawei phone or something like that as a document camera. Now, the method I'm going to show you is just one way. There are a few other ways to do it. Some you can use with a cable, some you can't. Now, I'm going to use an app on the phone, and I'm going to use a program that I've downloaded called Visor. Now, Visor is free, but it will show you an ad every 15 minutes. And some of the functionality is limited, but it does okay with what we need to do. There is a paid version. That's about $40 US that you can go ahead and use as well. I've seen a few other free versions floating around, but they tend to come with a few issues with installing and getting the phone connected at the same time. I'm not saying that this is not without problems, but I've managed to get it working. And then I'll show you another way that you can also connect your laptop to your phone and the camera and work from there. And then I'll finish up with using Google Meet again, just to go over that and use the camera in your phone in an online meeting. Okay, so I'm going to start by using an app that I've downloaded and installed on my laptop called Visor. That one. And I've already got my phone connected via a USB cable, so I'm going to go View. What I like about this program is I can control my phone directly from my laptop. So there it is there, and then I can turn on the camera, and away we go. And then I can use, just like I did with the iPad, I can use something like Screencastify to show what's happening on the screen and do my writing and so forth that way. All right, so that's one way using Visor. The other way that you can do it is a little bit trickier. So I need to go to the Play Store. Let's go back to Play Store. Come on. There we go, Play Store. And you'll want an app called IP Camera. You want this one here. All right, I've already got it installed. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And what you need down the bottom, you need to scroll down the bottom and you want Start Server. All right, it'll flip your camera around and so forth. So you'll possibly need to adjust the positioning of your camera and all the rest of it. Now on your phone, you'll get this IP address down here. And you'll need to, there we go, here's an example of the ad that pops up when you're using Visor. All right, so you've got this IP address that appears. This will also appear on the screen of your handset. So you need to put in that IP address. Okay, so you can see that I've been playing around with it before. There we go. And what I like about this one is you get a bit more control over what the image actually looks like. So I'm going to go Browser. And there we go. And there is my image right there. And I can come down here and I can actually come into the advanced settings and I can flip or mirror my image. I can change the orientation if I want. So now it's the right way up. Okay, and then there is also a full screen option. So there we go. So now we've got the full screen option as well. So then what you can do is you can possibly resize this window, open up a screencastify option as well, record your desktop, and you've got the recording of what's happening on your screen at the same time. So that's using the IP camera. Now it's going to pop back to my Visor session. Now what I need to do is I need to go to my Hangouts. I'm going to go to Google Meet actually. There we are, Google Meet. All right. And I can start up a meeting here. So I'll start a meeting. I'll just do test again. Now this time around, my phone's actually connected with my work account. So I'll want, again, those letters there to be able to join the meeting effectively. So back into Visor, I'm going to punch in a meeting code, RNWUTNRCF. There we go. All right. So I've got my phone joining to the meeting as well. So again, I should be able to come to these dots up here and switch my camera around. And now it's pointing down. So this is what the people in the meeting are going to see in terms of what's going on in the meeting. All right. And as I said before, it's a good idea if people go to the participant list and actually pin that screen. Because it's coming over the internet, the image quality is going to be a little bit flaky, so do keep that in mind. And you should be able to get the general idea across for what's going on. All right, so that's using an iPad, that's using an Android device to set them up and use them as a document camera. There's a couple of things that for people who are a little bit new to technology, I might have glossed over a little bit quickly, but that's fine. Get in touch with me and I'll sort you out. Thanks very much. Later.